What happens if we take every planet in the solar system and throw them into the sun, one by one? At first, the answer seems obvious. The planets will simply burn up. But in the simulation, everything turned out much more interesting. Small worlds disappear almost instantly, atmospheres are stripped away into space, oceans start boiling, and after some impacts, huge clouds of glowing material appear around the sun. And the more massive the planet gets, the bigger the question becomes, will the sun itself survive this experiment? Let's start the simulation. We start with Mercury, and here everything happens almost without drama. Mercury is too small, and by nature it already lives very close to the sun, so when it falls in, it quickly burns up and disappears. After the impact, we can see a small ejection of material, but for the sun, this is almost nothing. Mercury literally dissolves into its outer layers, like a red-hot stone falling into an ocean of lava. The first test is done. The sun barely noticed it. But Venus is already more interesting. Even before the collision, we can see a powerful stream of solar radiation beginning to strip away its atmosphere. Venus is usually considered a hellish planet, but this close to the sun, even its dense atmosphere means nothing. The solar wind literally tears the atmosphere away and carries it into space. The planet gets closer, heats up more and more, and at some point, it no longer looks like a solid world. It becomes a glowing sphere that the sun starts taking apart layer by layer. And now we can already see the pattern. The bigger the planet, the more noticeable the sun's reaction becomes. Now we throw Earth into the sun. And this is where the simulation becomes truly disturbing, because we are not just watching a rocky sphere. We are watching a planet with oceans, an atmosphere, and water. First, the solar wind starts stripping away the atmosphere from the side facing the sun. It stretches out into space, almost like the planet is leaving a trail behind it. Then the surface heats up, and the water on the day side begins to boil. A huge amount of steam rises into the atmosphere. Earth still looks familiar: blue oceans, clouds, continents. But these are the final seconds of the planet's life. The closer it gets to the sun, the more strongly it deforms. Earth begins to stretch out, almost taking the shape of an egg, because one side is already under the monstrous pull of the star much more than the other. And then our Earth finally burns away. But the most interesting part happens after that. Clouds and nebula-like structures of ejected material appear around the sun. What used to be the oceans, atmosphere, and crust of our planet has now become part of the glowing chaos around the star. And this is where it becomes clear. Earth is still too small to destroy the sun, but it does leave a visible trace. Our planet is gone, and around the star remains the ghost of what it used to be. After Earth, Mars looks almost like a repeat of Mercury. It is smaller, lighter, and has almost no dense atmosphere. So as it approaches the sun, it has no chance. The surface heats up quickly, the planet loses its shape, and burns away. After the impact, we again see a small ejection of material, but nothing massive happens. For the sun, Mars is just another rocky object that it absorbs almost without resistance. But next come the planets that can no longer be called small rocks. Now the most dangerous part of the experiment begins. We throw Jupiter into the sun. And this is no longer a rocky planet like Earth or Mars. Jupiter is a gas giant, and it has more mass than all the other planets in the solar system combined. So here, for the first time, the sun is not just receiving a small rocky impact, it is receiving a huge amount of gas, matter, and energy. We can immediately see everything around Jupiter flare up near the sun. Its rings begin to glow almost instantly because the star's radiation simply burns through anything that gets too close. After Jupiter's epic fall into the sun, the strangest moment happens. Visually, the sun no longer looks like the familiar yellow dwarf. It becomes much brighter, almost bluish-white. It is important to understand, in reality, even all the planets together could not turn the sun into a true blue star. For that, you would need a completely different amount of mass. But in the simulation, the Sun seems to receive a powerful thermal shock. Its outer layers overheat, its brightness increases, and its color shifts toward a hotter white-blue glow. For us, this would be the end. A sun like this would mean a sharp increase in radiation, the destruction of normal orbital conditions, and total sterilization of anything that might still be nearby. Jupiter did not destroy the sun, but after it, one thing became completely clear. The star had already changed. Now we send Saturn into the Sun, and the first thing that stands out is its rings. They flare up almost immediately, because at this distance, ice, dust, and rocky particles heat up incredibly fast. The rings begin to glow, break apart, and turn into a stream of superheated material, while Saturn itself slowly loses its shape and sinks into the outer layers of the star. After Jupiter, the Sun already looks overheated, so Saturn does not change the picture as dramatically, but it adds even more material to this giant stellar furnace. Next comes Uranus. Compared to Jupiter and Saturn, it looks smaller, but it is still a massive ice giant with a powerful envelope of hydrogen, helium, and volatile materials. As Uranus approaches the Sun, it quickly loses its outer layers. What is normally hidden deep inside this cold planet begins to literally evaporate and stretch toward the star. Its fall is not as spectacular as Saturn's rings, but it shows the scale very clearly. Even ice giants become nothing more than fuel next to the Sun. Last, we send Neptune. This is the most distant large world in the solar system, a planet of cold, winds, and ice. But next to the Sun, all of its icy nature disappears almost instantly. The outer layers heat up, material begins to escape into space and fall toward the star, and Neptune slowly dissolves into its light. And at this point, the experiment is basically complete. Every planet in the solar system has been sent into the Sun, but the star is still there. The result turned out more interesting than I expected. After all these collisions, the Sun no longer looks the same. In the simulation, it almost looks reborn, brighter, hotter, and much more dangerous for everything around it. So the planets did not manage to kill the star. They simply became part of it, increasing its power and volume. If you enjoy insane space experiments like this, subscribe to the channel and write in the comments what we should test next. I'll use the most interesting ideas for future simulations.